Hey there, it's Mrs. J. I wanted to take a quick look at just an intro to Fusion 360. I'm trying it out on my teacher desktop in school, and it is having a really bad lagging problem. I don't know if it's because it's the internet or the computer, but I will work on that. If this is too slow, I will try the recording again. So open up your Fusion 360, and you have to log in each time. So different than Inventor that we used in the past, that you have to log in and have your account here, which is a little bit of a pain, but it's good because your work is saved. You don't really lose your work unless your internet, instantly cuts out. So it's a little bit better program. It is a web-based program. If you don't have internet, it doesn't run. Whereas in Inventor we used previously for my 10th graders, you can run Inventor with no internet, and that's no problem. For 9th graders, we used Onshape, and it's just like this. This just has more bells and whistles. So let's just take a look at the interface. It's just Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint. If you're familiar with any of those programs, which I know nowadays some people are just using Google, they're not seeing this old school Surface. You still get to know the names though. So we have to know the parts. Good morning. So we have the shortcut toolbar, which I think you can customize what you want. Basically, it shows what file you're working in, how to save your things, how to send something to 3D print. But you need to know that shortcut toolbar. You can open this up and show the data panel. I'm going to skip it because my computer's crashing. And then we have our ribbon. So the ribbon changes based on what you're doing. If I X this out, I'm back at the main screen and I start all over, but it starts right here. I have to choose over here on the left what I want to do, design, which is 99% of what we're going to do. Generative design, which is totally cool. You make some parts and you tell it to make the rest. Like I can make us a rectangle and then say, hey, I want this to be a chair. So let me have 4 legs. You put 4 points underneath your little square and it makes the legs for you. It's messy, it's slow, but in the future that's going to be amazing. So look at that. Render is when we want to look at our work in a visual mode. Animation is when we remember the automata boxes, 10th graders, we had those toy boxes. It makes your object move like a movie, you tell it. Simulation is similar to what we're doing with the animation, but it shows you how you could like make your parts to see if they work or not, if the next part, your extrusion, your fillet, whatever you're doing, if it works or not, if it fits. And then manufacture is how you can send it out to be created, like whether it's injection molding or steel work or how they're going to fabricate it. And then drawing sheets we're familiar with. It's always ISO, top, front, side. You have to know those. Okay, and let's look at our workspace here. So when you open it up, you get here. And then you start with this interface. So view cube is familiar. You see your X, Y, and Z axis. And then the color code goes with it. So see X is red, so this is your X axis. I'm looking up at the view cube in the top right. Z is blue, so that's your Z axis. You can also come over here and click on it. Mine's going to be slow. Yeah, I'm slow today. Okay, so see, I clicked on my Z axis and it pops up. Click on my X axis and it shows it. On my Y axis and it shows it. So if you wanted to see it, to work with it, you could. And it's really good aid. So say you wanted the Y axis and you wanted to build something to revolve around, you could use this. It's not an actual line, it's just a visual aid, so that's pretty helpful. And then you have your work planes, just like we've seen before. So your X, Y, so it's going up. Your X, Z, so it's sort of like the top plane, X, Z. See how that's the same as that? Some people can do the spatial reasoning in their brains, and some people rely on this to show them, and that's perfectly fine. That's why it's here. And then your Y, Z. So if you look in your view cube, Y, Z, this is if you just took that panel by itself, right? So let's try working on the top plane. So we can click, oop, I didn't mean to do that. Turn that back. I can't turn it back. Home, okay, top. Puts it right in front of you, right? So you can do that using your view cube. Or you can send it home and have that isometric view. The top plane I know is going to be XZ, because I can see it here, XZ. It's also the bottom plane, right? So let's do that. Pick a plane and then come up here and create a sketch. You don't have to click your plane first. You can click your plane afterwards. And then you're just going to click in here. It looks like I have some lag. Yeah. So your internet can slow this down, but I think my computer's just slowing it down. All right, so it gives us the origin. We know we're on the origin because if you come up here, let's see if it wants to open for me. It doesn't want to open for me. It'll show you that the point is 0, 0, even if you're back on the main screen. So that's going to be your origin. You like to work there because it locks your sketches in. Let's try the 2-point rectangle. Click on that, top left. Click in the center. Don't be frustrated by my lag. It's actually a very fast program. My teacher desktop is a dinosaur. It's like I think I have like a 2010 computer. But it works, so. Alright, I'm in millimeters. We're going to change those to inches later. But for now, let's just play with this a little bit. So we can tab in between our dimensions that we want to do. Looks like I'm lagging. Don't lag. Yeah, it's lagging. But it's the same as any other program we use. Oh yeah, there I'm crashing. Here's my black screen of death. So you grab the rectangle tool, you start at the origin, you drag diagonally, and then you click it, left click it once. Really want to be able to use a mouse while we're working with this program. It's just more precise than the touchpad you've got on your laptop. Plus, when you take your test, it will be on a desktop that works, hopefully. Right, so I'm going to hit escape. You can dimension while you're opening up that sketch by using the tab button. But I was freezing, so I'm going to switch to sketch dimension. And I'm just going to make this 50. Let's make 50. There you go, enter. I'm still in the sketch dimension. See how my mouse changed? And then 50. I'm going to try to do videos so that you're not struggling with Google Meets and this in the class. They take all your internet. Okay, and then we want to take a look at this ribbon up here. We have all our different tools. You need to know the parts here. Tabs, solid, surface, sheet metal, tools, sketch. You don't have to memorize those, but you need to know that those are the different tabs you can choose on. And when you're in the tabs, you have panels. So panel, this is create panel. Anything I want to create. I have the line, the rectangle, the circle, the spline, and then the mirror, right? And then dimension. So let's create. This is the modify panel. In the modify panel, you have these tools. There's more when you hit the drop down. So on your exam, it'll say the trim tool is located in what panel? And you need to know, oh, it's in the modify panel. Constraint panel has all of these constraints. They're very helpful to work with. We're going to memorize all of those. And then there's more panels here. So tab, solid, surface, sheet metal, tools, sketch. We're in the sketch tab because we're making something new. We could take a look at the solid tab and say, hey, let's extrude this thing. You can either close your sketch and work on it then, or you can just switch tabs and go to solid. So I'm up in solid and hit extrude, just like we've done. Fusion is intuitive. It knows what you want to extrude for the most part. And I'm freezing a little bit there, so I've got a lag. Sorry about that. So you see how it changed my view for me? It put me in an isometric view so that it can show the direction I want to go. I could go the opposite direction if I want. I can also tell it or drag it. So say I pull this up. It'll go with me. Yours will work better because mine's freezing. I can drag it to the right amount. I can also tilt it back and forth. But I'm just going to tell it 50 since I have a glitch. I'll make my other videos on a different laptop, so I apologize for this one. And we're going to make that 50. It gives you a an application window or a dialog box. That's what these are called. Just like Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, dialog box. And then see how it did that. It's actually kind of fun to play with. You can drag up and down. I've got a little crashing thing. So we'll make that 50. We'll have a little cube. Oh, maybe my camera's interfering with that. I'll do the next ones without the camera. That might be it, the graphics. Okay, and let's just add a new sketch. Let's go up to create a new sketch. It automatically closed the old one. You see how the sketch tab is gone up there, but you had it earlier. So that green check mark that I never hit, that's in there. So if you look in here, you'll see that's going to be that square that we made at the bottom. 2D sketch, that's the square. 3D model, that's the cube. Got to know the difference, right? So create a sketch. Give you all your choices. I'm going to put it on top. Right on top. It's going to rotate it and put it in front of me. So you have to watch that happen on yours. It'll be a little less clumsy than mine. I'm going to grab the circle tool on the top left. I'm going to go right in that center because I can see it. And then drag it out a little bit. I want to make it 25 and hit enter. If you missed it, like you clicked too fast and you didn't get a chance to do the diameter, you just hit the dimension tool and come over, touch the outside of your circle. Just whenever you're dimensioning a circle, you touch it from the outside. That way you know what to make it. So I made it 25. You can always alter that by double clicking on it, no problem. If I go to my home screen, I can put this back to where it started and view it, right? So let me close the sketch this time, but I don't have to. I come over here to solid. And then we'll click on extrusion. It should automatically know that there's only one sketch available to extrude, and it'll pick it. Mine is not. So I'm going to click it. I could have clicked this and gone forward, but I'm going to click that. And let's drag it up a little bit, see how it looks. Yeah, I'm freezing again. It's heavy on the graphics card, so make sure you don't have anything open like Google Meets, unfortunately. Netflix, anything that runs graphics, YouTube. You know, if you're going to stream music at the same time, put it on a different device. It's just easier. So we'll make that 10 millimeters. That looks nice. You can either drag it to that or type and hit enter. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll call this until I get a better recording situation. Let's add a new sketch. I'm clicking up here and we'll put it right here in the front. Let's do another rectangle. Let's see if we can choose a different rectangle. Can I? I probably can't. It's going to be stuck there. Okay, so we'll use the 2-point rectangle. And then, is that the center point? No, first corner. So we'll start over here. And I'll come over here. You can change that dimensions as you go, but I'm going to use the dimension tool. And we'll make it about 25 by 25. Oh, that wants to freeze. Right on there. Okay, and then let's dimension it within the space it goes. So you want to get a space in between here and a space in between there, right? So I'm going to click that, click the side. I'm going to drag down just so we can see it. And let's see what looks nice. Let me make that a little bigger so it's a little even. Should have done some math on this. Don't have to do both sides, but I want it to be even. So 12.5. Oops. Oh, I see. You can't change it if it doesn't fit. Looks like I've got a little glitch here. Okay, so if I do 12.5 over there, what am I going to get on my other side? Okay, so you don't have to do both sides. I just want to make sure they were even because I wasn't paying attention. to the sizing there. Let's see what I've got here. Click on the top, pull it over. It doesn't look even to me. In the future, I'll get some dimensions. I just want to play with this. I think 12.5 is going to be the way to go since it's a cube. Yeah. Okay, so you only need 2 dimensions, one in this space here, one in this space here, or you could have done it on the other side. It's entirely up to you, but you want to place that in the center there. And normally I can turn this a little bit to look at it, but I am definitely frozen right now. Okay, then we're just going to extrude that and we'll leave it there. Okay, so let me escape. That was the marking menu that popped up out of nowhere. Finish your sketch. And then extrude this, and then we'll be done. You can turn that in so I know you know what you're doing there. Alright, finish my sketch. Come over to the home button so you can see it isometric. I'm using my mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Hit extrude, and it lets you choose the outside or the inside. Play with that a little bit. Oh, I get to drag it finally. That's kind of neat. 10 is good. It does it in increments, so it's not like too laggy. It's pretty fast. It looks like I've got 10 millimeter increments. I like that. That's super helpful. Just hit enter. And we'll leave it at that. We'll look at color and shading and all the things you can do later on. So before we go, let's just take a look at the bottom here. The thing I like about Fusion is that it shows your work in the order you did it. So say you've got something complicated, this gets stretched out all along the bottom here, and you can just see what you're looking for and fix that. So it's also over here, but this shows everything. So your first sketch, the square, you extruded it. Your second sketch, the circle, you extruded it. Your third sketch, the square, you extruded it. It shows all your work as you go in the order you did it. So if you go and change something now, it'll show up here also. Very helpful, lets you delete things, lets you work on your project in real time. So I hope this helps a little bit. I want you to please use your snipping tool. That is SNIP in your computer. You have those nice fancy desktop laptops, so use that. Use your snipping tool. It looks like this. And you want to screenshot. For these screenshots in the classroom, you will always take, oh, I probably can't screenshot because I'm in the recording thing. Use this and screenshot in such a way that you show your initials and the cube. So I would screenshot from here to there so it shows yours. Thanks for watching.